today because I feel like I've been talking with a lot of friends lately and just kind of witnessing how they're feeling a little bit helpless and, just kind of feeling a little bit like hopeless with the state of the world and what's happening around us with like politics and climate change. And, personally in Asheville here, we're dealing with post hurricane trauma and now fires. And, sometimes it can be really, really overwhelming. And I hear my friends saying that they feel like their thoughts and prayers are not enough. Um, but it's like they feel paralyzed otherwise to do anything that's actually going to make any real change. So that's kind of their way of contributing. But then they also feel like, is this spiritual bypassing? Is this not enough? And, often when like somebody's going through hardship, I witness, people on social media, and if they're, say they're somebody died or they're going through cancer or something like that, like people just, they tend to say, sending you thoughts and prayers, and then that's all they do. And so the person that's going through the trauma is really annoyed by that and frustrated because what they need is like, action, tangible support, food, assistance, childcare, and like really direct help. And action is necessary. I'm not going to sit here and say just pray and don't do anything to try and make a difference in the world. But I also want you to know that thoughts and prayers are very, very powerful. It's not sitting back and taking and being passive. Because when we collectively and consistently focus our intention and our mind and our thoughts together and our energies, then we create the world around us because we've been creating all of this. We can sit here and blame and point fingers and get caught up in the right and wrong. But the reality is that this is the story that we have all believed was going to happen. And so now we are all creating this together. So it is up to us individually to start choosing to create a new story because we're here. We thought, the end of the world's going to happen, Armageddon's going to happen, World War III, the Antichrist is taking over, and the world's collapsing because we've been focusing on this and creating the story through movies and media and television for years. So we've created this reality. So now it's our chance to create something new because okay, we're here, now what? Now we get to create a new story because recent studies in biophysics and energy-based interventions have shown that um, focused intention can impact health outcomes, from blood pressure to stroke recovery. And these were double blind studies that were done. And they were proved, to show healing and health improvements without these people even knowing that they were being prayed for. Hi, welcome, Jessica. Thanks for watching. Um, and so this shows that if we collectively focus on an idea, then that idea becomes reality. When we collectively focus on a belief, it becomes reality. So far, we've believed in the destruction, as I was saying before, and the dystopian society. And so, it's time to start creating something new, to shift the narrative. We can shift our focus together. We can choose a different outcome, a different story, because when things like this happen, the pendulum always swings the other way. So when there's all sorts of like, dysfunction and chaos and fear and things going on, um, that are being destabilized, it propels us and ignites us to create more stability, functionality, inner peace, security in our lives. And so, the pendulum always swings the other way. It's a rebalancing act that's happening right now. Um, so it's up to you to decide what part of the narrative you want to be in. So if you feel like your role is to get on Facebook and be the truth police and get into all that discussion, then that's a choice. But if you want to be part of a change, where people share common values of peace and harmony and creation, rather than being a victim of the stories and narratives that are being consistently sold to us, that people are spouting, then that's another choice. And you can be a part of that story. It's entirely up to you. There are multiple realities and timelines and existences, and the one that you focus on the most is what you're going to be a part of, because the universe is simply reflecting and mirroring your thoughts and your beliefs. And it's easy to get sucked into the negativity and the victimization and the helplessness and frustration because you feel disempowered. Because when you meditate and you use the power of prayer, when you focus your mind and your energy on creation and the thing that you desire, then it will be created. It will start to shift and change. And the more you do it, the more it naturally happens. More easily things start to happen for you in the way that you desire. So the more effortlessly um, you connect with people who share your energy, the more easily you're going to start connecting with those people more often. It becomes effortless in a way. And then you can start creating more of that world of harmony together. So I want to share a story with you. This was a time when I was living in Orlando and I was married, and we had just been hit by two of the worst hurricanes in Orlando history that I have ever heard of. And the first one came through, and there were like trees knocked down. We didn't have power for 10 days. And, some of our neighbors lost their homes and their roofs were ripped off, and there were trees down everywhere, and we couldn't really get around. We're trying to chainsaw our way out. And thankfully, I had a cousin who's a tree trimmer who came and worked on some of my trees prior to that. But I also did a lot of praying those 3 days and meditating and connecting with angels when there was screaming 140-mile-an-hour winds, like beating my house to death. So, and my house thankfully was untouched, and I really am grateful for that time. So the next morning, I was rushing off to work because um, we still had to work, and I was managing two hair salons, and um, the owner of the hair salon happened to be in Japan. So I'm managing two hair salons post hurricane and dealing with the hairdressers who are angry that they have to come to work. And, the clients even more who are pissed off that their hair wasn't done and that they were needing to cover their grays and they were delayed. And so I had to go manage these two salons post hurricane with no power, no hot water. And you can imagine how fun that was. So anyway, I'm rushing around trying to get ready for work, and I look for my wedding rings and I can't find it. So the night before, I have a brown dresser, and there was the hurricane lamp and a flashlight and my wedding ring and my other anniversary ring sitting on this dresser the night before. So I wake up in the morning, I'm rushing around, I'm in a panic, and I'm thinking, I can manage these people. Everybody's pissed off. And we have no power, no running water. And I go to get my ring, and my wedding ring's not there. My other ring is there, and it's just, there's nothing else on this dresser. It's a brown dresser, it's white gold, it's very stark. There's one ring there, and I sarcastically pick up the flashlight and the hurricane lamp, and I go, well, I guess it's not here. And then I walk away, and I was like, well, we were transporting food from our cars, to our neighbors who had gas power. And who had like a grill. And so I was like, well, I'm just going to go, you know, look at my car and see if maybe I lost my ring there. And so I go look at my car and I find a box of pasta under my seat. And I think, oh, I'm finding things. That's good. That means I'll find my wedding ring. So then I go back into my room and I look at the one clock to the right of me that's battery powered, because again, we had no power. And my dresser's over here to the left. And as I look at that clock, I see this bright white flash of light just explode to the side of me. And my cat was sitting there. My cat saw this light too. And we both look over. And this dresser that I had just looked at not more than a few seconds ago is sitting there. And there's my wedding ring sitting right on top of it, in between where I just looked down and said, well, I guess it's not here, because I put my other one on. So it clearly wasn't there. And at first I panicked. I thought, oh my God, there's somebody in the house with me. Like, what is going on? So I went around, I had to search every room in the house, and, just kind of freaked out a little bit. But then when I realized nobody was there, I started laughing hysterically. And I'm like, oh, this is how it works. When I said the ring is here, I will find it, it literally showed up. It was like, because I focused on it and I knew it was there, because I'm like, I know I put it here last night. It can't be anywhere else. It's not here on the floor. It's not wherever. But because when I walked away, found that box, came back, And I said, I'm going to find it. And it's here. It's got to be here. It literally just revealed itself to me and was like, yes, I'm right here. And so then I realized, like, this is how it works. When we focus our attention on something, when we say, you know, that we're going to find it, we find it because we're harmonizing with it. And so therefore we're creating that reality because we're focusing our mind, our attention on it. When we say, oh my gosh, I've lost it, it's going to kill me, stress, worry, blah, 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 then you don't find it because you're focusing on the lack of it. And so then it doesn't reveal itself to you. It doesn't show up. You can't see it if you don't believe it's there, and so it isn't magic, it's a choice. It's about choosing what you focus on, choosing your reality, recognizing what you desire is already created. You just have to claim it and know it and recognize it and see it, and you will see it. It's right there. It's everything's right there in the multiverse. It's just waiting for you to be like, hey, I'm over here, see me. And you look at it and you see it and it's revealed to you. And this is why prayer and meditation work. When you focus in a way that affirms that things already are harmonized and reflect, the way that you wish them to be, they will be that way in your outer vision. The universe harmonizes with your beliefs, your emotions, your intentions. It's a mirror of your beliefs, thoughts, and focus. So when you say thoughts and prayers, yes, thoughts and prayers do work. They are effective and they are very powerful, but it also takes consistency. It also takes, maybe a group collective energy to really amplify that frequency. So those experiments, as I was talking about earlier with the biophysics and experiments they were doing, people across the world were being prayed and meditated for who had like stroke and diabetes and all these things, and they had better recovery outcomes because of the group that was praying and meditating on them. Because again, the universe is only harmonizing with you. It's harmonizing with how you feel on the inside, what you believe. It's harmonizing with your vibration so that your thoughts, emotions are creating your reality. Your intentions, your meditations, your praying, it's all frequency. And that is the frequency that creates the world around you. So when we start together, collectively choosing what is actually happening in this world, we can change the reality and the world around us. When we start choosing and expecting the great harmonization of global unity and oneness, then that will be our experience. But right now we're witnessing the great harmonization of global unity and oneness happening because we're waking up to our inner power. We're waking up to heal our wounds so that we can create this new world together. The current chaos and confusion that's happening is just existing there to shake us awake. It's to show us our disharmony that we have created because we believed in this. We believed in this reality. So there's no blame in this. There's no shame in this. But we're realizing that we're the creators of this reality and we created this. So we can't blame others. It's, we're part of this reality because we expected it to be this way. We were raised to believe, Armageddon's coming and the end of the world, World War III and blah, blah, blah. And so now we can collectively choose a different expectation, which is the great harmonization of global unity and oneness. It's a different timeline, a different reality. And so now we can choose a different expectation, a different reality together. And when, that's just going to be the reality we live in because it will be so, because that's what we are focusing on collectively. And again, I've heard from some of my friends who just feel helpless about the state of the world, and it's just very overwhelming, and they feel like they're spiritually bypassing by just meditating and praying. But, I want you to know that your silent prayer and meditation and your intentions and focusing on inner harmony is not giving up. It is not spiritual bypassing. It literally creates the world around you. It literally creates the world for you based on your energy. We just have to shift on what we believe, and that will be created in front of us. It's, that meditation and prayer is a form of action, and it's a form of resonant action for creating harmony in the world. It doesn't mean to say, don't go out and support your community and do nothing. But if you do it from a place of inner harmony, knowing what you're creating, knowing that you are collectively creating together in a world of harmony and balance together, then you're going to create the world you desire. It's not passive. It's not disconnecting. It's not shutting down. It's not giving up. It's not disengaging. It's creating, and it's more powerful than anything you can see in the news or media or actions of people who are, acting based on their inner disharmony. So your silent, resonant focus and interactions are 10 times more powerful than somebody who is trying to fix things, and argue with things that are just coming from a place of disharmony. So, and I say 10 times because, I'm just making up numbers, but that's what I feel. So, do your best to like minimize toxicity in your life, disconnect from media that drains you, connect with people in your community more face to face, heart to heart, and spend time in nature. Spend time tending to the earth and your garden. And most importantly, choose your reality and intention and have sovereignty over your inner landscape and your emotions and what you focus on creating. And don't be distracted by all the stories and the narratives of everything's falling apart. Not to say it isn't, but it's a good thing that it's happening because it's creating a new world of harmony within ourselves. And that harmony starts with divine order within you. And so, really claiming that inner sovereignty and that inner strength within you to maintain your inner landscape of peace and balance within you by making decisions to keep yourself healthy, happy, stable, and grounded. So this is about working on our inner landscapes and creating that inner harmony within ourselves, and then created the inner harmony in the outer world. So I love you guys so much, and I really hope that this helps you to, feel good about the positive energy that you're focusing on, and know that this is a form of strong, empowered action, and that it is very, very powerful, and to keep doing it. Keep doing it, keep meditating, keep, focusing on quantum jumping into those new realities of a new world, of a new you, and focusing in on embodying those greater aspects of the life that we all know we came here to be. This is just a stepping stone in our evolutionary process, but we have to get through this. We have to get beyond this illusion of like separation, fear, and dystopian society, and realize that we are powerful creator beings. This is the step beyond manifesting and attracting and all those things. We're not doing any of that. We're creating it with our energy. We're creating it with our beliefs. We are powerful creator beings. Things don't come to us. We don't attract. We don't manifest. We create. And this is the next step in our evolution, realizing that you create with your inner energy and your harmony, and recognizing that the most important thing you can do for the world is to clean up what's going on in here and create a place of inner harmony and balance within yourself, whatever that means to you, however you have to get there. Find that inner peace, and then go out and radiate that out into the world and take action from that place, not from the separation, the dysfunction, fear, and all of that. It's super important to have clear, harmonious action that is resonant with where it is we are going, which is the great harmonization of global unity and oneness. So many blessings to all of you. Thank you for watching, and feel free to comment. If you would like a private session, just reach out to me. You can connect with me in my guides for either intuitive readings, channelings, connecting with mediumship and loved ones, or balancing your energy, coaching, helping you to work through some of this inner disharmony. So I've been through it all, so I'm here to share and assist and support you all along this journey. So again, reach out, and love you guys so much. Many blessings. Thanks.